Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This video, in this video, I will discuss how Zelensky incites war between the Europeans, and not with his people, with the Europeans. And he's ready to sacrifice or to defend Ukraine, however you want to look at it, by using one nation's children, men, husbands, brothers, and so on. And he is actually the great savior of Ukraine. I'm talking about Zelensky's time. I'm going to talk in this video using a little article where Zelensky wants the allies to promise to pledge allegiance or pledge unwavering aid to Ukraine until they destroy Russia. So the Europeans should be at it. Why? I guess destroying Europe with diversity is not fast enough. So they think that maybe if these guys nuke one another, they will be fast enough. Or maybe Europe and the Russians could fuck themselves, and then the Americans will come with a diverse society, and they will just make sure that they grab the some European women and spread diversity like that. I know it's ugly, but this would be the third time the Europeans will get into a world war, but mostly in Europe, where we're gonna kill ourselves for some other people's interests and profit. Who are those people? Well, I'm not blaming this only on one thing. There's many reasons why the First World War and the Second World War kind of started. But behind all this, it's something else. Because you can say, well, you know what? The gun fired and killed. No, it was a finger. And then it was a hand, and then it was an arm, and then it was a body, and then it was a brain, and all that. So if you go to the brain who dictated all that circumstance, then you understand. It's not, oh my God, the Archduke of whatever, he said, you know what, Franz Josef, oh, he got assassinated in Sarajevo, therefore, that's a world war, we're gonna start. Yes and no. And the Second World War, remember, the Second World War started not in the 1st of September 1939, when the Wehrmacht invaded Poland because the Poles were just too good. No, it was not that. It was when the Brits and the French declared war on Germany 24 hours, within 24 hours, and 48 hours, because the French were like, my pussy hurts, what should I do? And the English lion was like, go in. And they said, okay. That's when it turned from one-on-one little, it turned into a group sex. 4, and then they declared war to one another. So the countries that actually, I would say legally, turn it from a one-on-one to a global thing or multinational, it was Great Britain and France. Now, should the Germans have invaded Poland? I'm not going to discuss that here. I spoke, and you know my opinion and assessment on that one. So let's go back to Zelensky's time, who wants to see a third world war between us, while they are over there waiting again, right? Waiting again. Let's see. Russia and Ukraine trade drone strikes this as Zelensky calls on allies for unwavering aid. That means Europeans. And they give you this for you to say, ah. All right? So they are killing one another, send them more. Basically, Zelensky. It's not enough destruction, Mr. Zelensky. Ye. I don't know why it's double E and not, I know, triple Y right here. Why is that just double Y and not triple Y? Anyway, I don't care. At least 23 people pop up. This is where they muster or they squeeze some of your compassion right here. And we're going to go to Zelensky because that's what's important. He says this. Where are you, baby doll? Where are you? All right. These attacks by Russia on Ukraine life can be stopped, he added. So the attacks can be stopped with pressure. What are we talking about pressure? Sanctions, blocking the occupiers' access to the components they use to create the tools of this terror, like they're baboons, they can't make their own. Arms packages for Ukraine, and a determination that must be unwavering. And who's that? From whom you're talking about? Well, about the allies, don't you think? I don't want to participate in that garbage. You want to participate? Go ahead. But in a society, a democratic society, I should be asked. Well, Emily, you were asked when you voted for Biden. I didn't vote for this thing. You remember what's going on right now? It could be the end of it. Do you agree with that? I don't agree with that. So what can you do? under your, whomever disagreed with what I said, your definition of democracy, this guy, the dying man over there in the White House, under the crypt in the basement, only 15 minutes a day he's able to operate, barely. Okay, under that guy's directive, he has the power for you to live or to die. That is, have the Russians nuke us and we nuke them or not? Did you give your president this power? I didn't give anybody the power over my life. If you want to do that, go ahead. I don't go ahead, okay? So, my friends, this is garbage what's going on. And what bothers me is because it's kind of clear who's behind this, the same interest that profited during the First and Second World War. Now we're going to have the third one in Europe, in the Western world. Why? Because we're a little bit different, warlike humans. But anyway, if you would get involved with someone else, they would beat us in a fair fight. But somehow we are warlike. You can't make it have it both ways. So, my friends, what do you think? What do you think? I think these guys speed up the diversity program implemented on the Western world by, making from the population, making it, and then maybe you can bring from outside sources to keep the whatever economies and repopulate Europe with some good fellows because they're better than us. We're told they're more, sensitive. They're not like us going all over and killing people and enslaving because only the white people did that. We're told, no, nah. Oh, we did it in the most ferocious way. That's a lie. That is a lie. But nevertheless, if you're an ignorant, they can sell you whatever they want if you don't know if you were born yesterday. Anyway, my friends, this is Zelensky. And you have him backed by Westerners against Westerners. Europeans versus Europeans. I disagree with that totally. And unfortunately, the Zelensky Stein and his the interests he represents or he works for, and I don't think that's the Ukrainian people whatsoever, right, is going to destroy Ukraine first. Now, if the Russians decided they will use nuclear weapons and it's going to be escalation after escalation, who do you think is going to be destroyed? Israel? No. Europe and possibly the States of America or all of us. I guarantee you these guys will take their foot off the pedal the second they get hurt a little bit. And there is, no, you can't hit here, just over there in your little Europe. We have, I think, disloyal politicians, bureaucrats, media, and so on. The media has to be impartial, should tell the truth, and should work for the interest of the nation they are representing. But they don't. Why? Too much money. Who has the money? No, capitalist pigs, right? No. Bankers have the money. Never forget that. The bankers have the money. Because all these world's nations, maybe with one or two exceptions, if I remember correctly, are indebted to someone and something, like a bank. Who are those banks? How did they become so rich, so powerful? Well, do you remember my little coined expression, a pimp bazaar? The bazaar of the pimps? The pimps, I'm going to say this until the cattle come home or whatever, return home. I don't know the expression. All right, so the pimps are our leaders, elected officials. And the lady of the night that they are in charge of are the nations they represent. And then they meet into the bazaar and they negotiate. They sell you and I. They sell the lady of the night, the countries, the nations they are supposed to defend and represent. And who are the customers? The customers are the big interest. They're going to suck us dry. Not like that suck, but suck us dry of our resources, our lives, our future, our children's, and so on. This is what's going on. And these guys in the pimp bazaar, that's exactly what they do. They negotiate how the customer, which is the guy who's going to come and use us, the ladies of the night in this case, use us how much they want for the right price. They're just the intermediaries, like a pimp. So Zelensky right now is just a pimp. And he doesn't have much power, but he's acting like one, selling Ukraine to whomever pays more for and it's a joke, but it's not a joke because it's serious. Be careful. Be careful. What will you do if these guys drop an atomic bomb somewhere? The operatives will tell you, oh, those are bad. Well, who got us over there? Putin, the evil Putin. We have nothing to do with it. Nothing. Zero. No responsibility. No self, reflection. Nothing. Why? Because we determined that we identify ourselves as good, and we also have the power to identify whomever we want, however we want. They do not have the same right. Why? Because we're good. We determined that. We said it. But if you look in history, it's good and bad, good and bad. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.